Greetings, humans. It is I, Oracle Gems. So this is gonna be my story, I guess story time. And let's just take a moment to breathe deeply and admire the fit. I'm feeling it. Just threw some makeup on, simple. And my pieces, my babies. Ooh. And I got this really cute bucket hat. I really want to tag their Instagram. When I do all the editing, I will tag their Instagram. The one who made this hat for me is so cool. And we did a barter, which is awesome. Y'all know I'm always out on the streets bartering. But yeah, anyways. So this is gonna be about my adventure, my escapade to South Florida. And I'm just gonna I'm right here by the window, obviously. So if you see me looking off, I'm just kind of looking at the trees, and I'm probably gonna do that the whole video. So yeah. And just trying to remember the whole trip. I'm so late, y'all. This trip was about 2 weeks ago, and I really like to get the trip fresh when I'm feeling it, once you get back and you're in that magical ecstasy of just traveling and being away from where you live. I usually like to get it fresh, but I just did not have the time. I either didn't have the time or the energy. Yeah, I've just been busy. I've been a busy gal, I would say. Finding a balance in between rest and play and work. And all of those have actually just been like team. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. But anyways, my trip to South Florida. So there was this amazing, and I want to tag all these people. There was this amazing, I follow this guy on Instagram called the Black Airbender. He's freaking amazing. And he was having this event. I'm gonna call it a sound healing event. It's called Elemental Symphony. It was a sound healing event. It was like a group of them. It was like maybe 4 or 5 of them together. The women, they had 2 women doing the giant crystal sound bowls. And then they had she's so beautiful. I do want to tag her music below as well. It's on Apple Music. She plays the violin, and they had her on the violin, and then they had the viola. So it was I think it was I guess it has different chords, but syncing those together. And there was this giant gong thingy. Oh, I love those things. They're the Chinese or whatever be using the giant gongs. And they had the little shaky Meraki thingies, and they synced it all together. And then we sat on our mats. We did deep breathing exercises, which bro, he don't play with me. He do not play. I had to lay down. We were supposed to sit up the whole time doing the deep breathing exercises. We did it for about, I would say maybe, it felt like 25, maybe about 25 minutes we were doing it. That's what it felt like. But I was just I have to lay down because it was intense. If you don't do it regularly, it can be intense. But yeah, so that was and there was maybe 10 of us there. It was a relatively small space, and it was wonderful. And they had tea that we could get. A guy selling herbal teas. And anyways, we all were lined up on our mats, and basically they would do all of the sound healing together, in combination with plasma scalar, which is basically this thing. I hope I'm describing it correctly. I feel like I am. It pulls plasma out of the air, and it's like electricity, I can't really explain it. It's like plasma. It's like ether. That's what I see it as, something that can pull it out of the air, and it's pure electric current that can actually heal. It just has healing powers. Okay, y'all gonna have to go to his page and look at it. It's amazing. So basically they had this amazing acupuncturist named Justin. We love him. He's vibes. He basically walked around. After we did the breathing exercises, we laid down on the mat. They put an acupuncture needle on everyone's forehead. And then so while they were doing all of the sound healing, He would walk around and blast plasma with the scaler through the needle, and it would go through our whole bodies while being covered in all that sound. Like, bruh. At first, I was like, of course, it's like any meditation. At first, you're like in your mind, and then like the thoughts are going and going, and you're trying to relax, and you're like twitching, and then like after a while, it's like a whole journey, like it's like you're afraid to step into the ocean, and you're like, oh, it's cold, and then you're worried about it, and then you get swept away in this beautiful cleansing energy, and then you get laid back down at the shore, and you're like, wow, I feel magical. That's what it was like. That shit, that was fire. And yeah, it was amazing. And yeah, so they would do that. And then after a while, of course, they took the needles out, and those actually hurt. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, and so that was an amazing event, and I feel like I did this out of order. We're gonna hop real fast to, before I even went on the trip, I was at something, it would not let me go to sleep. Something was like, do not lie to your parents. Like, don't lie, and don't like cover the truth or just tell them part. Like, something would not let me sleep, and was like, tell your mom that you got a one-way ticket. Because I got a one-way ticket to Miami, and because I was like, honestly, I was like penny pinching. I don't even like that terminology, just the energy of it. But like, that's kind of what I was doing just to get to Miami because I'm like, bro, and I love Miami. So I'm like, this is a great excuse to go to Miami. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going, and I'm not going to miss that event. And like, they even pushed it. Like, originally it was supposed to be in September, but like right the day before, and I'm like, I didn't have the money. They was like, oh yeah, we're actually pushing it to October 22nd. I'm like, okay, awesome. Now I have time to save. And I'm like, bro, nothing's stopping me from going to this event. I was selling my jewelry on the street. I was trying to get in where I could get in to vend. And yeah, I even tried the street performing, and that was just like, it wasn't like, it's just fun. It wasn't like, it's not like I was getting money, but I was like, y'all, I was like to my parents, like, what can I get? What can I do to get this money? And eventually it kind of worked itself out, and I got my way to this trip. But right the day before, when I ordered the ticket, I got y'all know how tickets work with airplanes. You can get the same. I got the airplane tickets the way that the airplane works I got it confused with the way that bus tickets work. So I thought that the same round trip and one way was like the same price, and it's just one. You just pay one, but I forget you have to pay for the going and the coming. But anyways, I didn't know I had to do that. And I was like, dang, I don't even have enough for it. I was just making jokes about it in my head about getting a one-way and just living in Miami and doing the burlesque and doing this. And then the situation, I was just joking about that to myself. But the situation ended up being like, I don't have enough money for the ticket there and the ticket back. I only have enough to get there. So, you know what? I'm like, you know what? I know I'm supposed to be here. I know I'm supposed to be here. So I'm going to just give it to God. And just get this one-way ticket, and I'll figure it out when I get there. It's Miami. I make it work. And so that's what I did. But someone was like, do not lie, like tell your mom. And so that night before I went to sleep, I was like, yeah, I just wanted to let you know I got a one-way ticket. And I'm going to stay with a friend for a while. Mind you, when I told her this, it was not a lie. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm staying with a friend, period. Like, I'm not going to be on the street. I had, like, y'all, when I told her this, I had no idea that, it's so funny. I had zero idea that who this friend was gonna be. I'm like, I know I'm staying with a friend. I don't know who this friend is. But I'm staying with the friend. And she was like, okay, be safe. She's like, who is this? She's like, I want to make sure my human's safe. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And so I go take the bus. Gosh, taking the bus is a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. I'd rather take a train. I don't know. It's just a pain. Oh, look at that. My mom's home right on cue. She's pulling up. Anyways, I was trying to do this to where, yeah, life. When life is life, and I was trying to do it before they got home. But anyways, yeah, I went to this event. So I told you about how the event went. Fast forward. After the event, I'm like, okay, I know I'm taken care of. I feel I just feel the angels around me, period, okay? And I'm telling you, when I got in that Uber, and I got in so many Teslas, bro, I'm like, the way that Tesla is increasing. But anyways, I just know I'm gonna have a Tesla. I'm like, I already know I have one. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. It's like a Ferrari and a Tesla have a baby. Anyways, combined. So like, yeah, anyways, once I got in that car and I had my bags packed and I was on the way to this event, I got so emotional. Like, I don't know, I was feeling scared. It's that feeling of like, okay, I know going on the stage to perform is gonna be amazing for me, but I'm nervous, bro. Like, what if I mess up? But it's gonna be amazing. Like, that's how I felt. And like, I think I cried on the ride to the bus station because I was holding so many emotions in, just being at home and taking on other people's emotions. And I'm like, getting away was just so good. It was so good for me. And so yeah, after I got there, I was just like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be here. This lady had said, she walked up to me, she was talking to me. I'm like, and low-key in my mind, I'm like, it's not that I'm not having faith. I'm just like, okay, is she gonna be the one to help? Like, I don't know how this gonna work. You know, they were the only other black woman there. I'm like, I'm the only other black woman. And I'm like, hey, is she like, and then we talked and she got my information and she walked out the door. And I'm like, bro, this is after the event is over. I'm like, okay, time is winding down. I know I don't got no place to go. I don't have money to get back. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I brought my stuff to sell, but I was starting to get nervous and starting to doubt because what? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I was about to follow that woman out the door. Not to like run her down. I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what I was doing. I was like, should I just follow them out the door and kind of just, I don't know, ask for a ride to the bus station? That's probably what I was about to do. But like, it didn't work out that way. I just called this God. I literally was about to walk out the door out after this lady. And of course I talked to everyone after the event. We were like conversing, communicating with like everybody, just talking to people, whoever you want to talk to for like 30 minutes after the event. But once we were like ready to wrap it up, I was about to walk out the door, had my suitcase, and then somebody said, hey, he literally stopped me from walking out the door. He's like, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, Charisma. And then like he pulled me into a conversation. We talked about spirituality for like 15 minutes. And then this other guy walks up, this shorter white guy. He's super, super dope. He walks up and he just starts nodding. He just literally stands there and he's just nodding like this while me and the other guys talking about spirituality and like true Hindustan. We was talking about all of that stuff. And and then eventually he jumps in. We're all conversing. And the guy was like, we have to close up now. You guys gonna have to like step out the door. And then I was like, we step out the door, we're outside. The guy's locking the door, ready to go. Eventually he leaves and it's just me and these two other guys. And then the other guy was like, he mentioned Tampa. And I was like, oh, something pulling me there. And I was just like, oh, like, is he got like, and then I was out there. I'm like, bro, I guess I'm going with y'all. I was just being so open. I'm like, I guess I'm just going with y'all because it's either that or stand out here on the street at almost midnight. And then they were like, and I'm like, sorry. I'm like, I kind of just came out here and I explained the whole thing to them. And then they were willing, I just was like, I have bracelets for sale. And the guy bought, the white guy I was telling you about, who is, I don't like to refer to him as that, but anyways, that guy, and I don't want to say their actual names, but he was there and he bought a bracelet. And then they were both like, you know what if we were just to send you money so you can have enough to get there and get home? And they was like, how about I just send you $50 so that way you can get there? And the other guy ended up leaving because he had to go. And it was just me and this guy who was just standing there nodding, that guy. We sat in he was like, I can take you. And then we got in the car and then something was in me. He's like, no, going home. No. I just knew like it wasn't happening. So I just let go and I was just in the moment. And I guess what I saw, a black cat. Literally. Every single time I travel, I see a black cat. And there was literally 3 different cats, a black one and like 2 other different color ones walking around us. Like they're like patrolling the car as we were just sitting there. We talked for like an hour. And then we ended up going to get tacos. We went to Talking Tacos. It was like, I do like that they're halal, which is wonderful, but I wasn't impressed. But anyway, like that's where we went. Their passion fruit juice is really good though. But yeah, we just hung out. We talked about like spirituality and life and stuff like in his car for like an hour. And then he was like, yeah, I'm staying in an Airbnb because he actually is from up north. He came down here for this event. And I was just like, and as we're talking, connecting, I'm just like, hey, like, he's like, yeah, I don't leave till Wednesday. And like, this is October 22nd, which was like a Sunday, I believe. He's like, yeah, I don't leave till Wednesday. And I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just stay in your Airbnb with you? He's like, sure, but you're gonna have to, like, it's only like a little room. You're gonna have to sleep on the floor. I slept on the, I mean, he did offer the bed, but I'm like, I like my space. Because it was technically big enough. But I'm like, no, like, I like my space, you know? So I had my yoga mat, and he had his yoga mat, which was bigger, and it was soft enough for me to sleep on the floor. I had my blanket, and I had a pillow. He gave me a pillow, so that's what I did. I stayed in this Airbnb with this guy, and he was cool vibes. We was talking for like an hour. There was like, we connected. I stayed in the Airbnb with him. He bought a whole bunch of tinctures, so he let me take some of his tinctures. He had like milk thistle, like herbal things. We would just wake up, and we would wake up in the morning, and we both would like greet each other. Of course, I like to keep my like space when I wake up in the morning, but he would always have the coconut water, and then we would like have our herbal infusions. He would do the lime and the coconut water for both of us, and that's how we started our day. And it was nice. And we went to the beach. We went to the beach, Miami beaches. Walked around. Got some some smoothie bowls, and just went to the beach and chilled. And then we went to this butterfly garden, which was pretty cool. I believe they just let people in for free, and you can just buy stuff if you want. And like, it's like nature, like they're preserving nature in some kind of way, and they're like actually have labs to where they're reproducing certain plants so they can grow more, because I think they're like a lot of endangered species. And they have like butterflies that they're reproducing, and then they let them free in the butterfly garden. But yeah, that was really cool. And when we connected, we went to like this site. I believe it was like Jacinto Park or something. And these huge trees, oh my God, they were so beautiful. And we just connected with the trees for a while. And like, bro, it was amazing. And then I stayed with him for like 3 days in his Airbnb. And then it was like, we went our separate ways. He booked his flight home. I tried to make it cross both of our times to where it ended up not crossing correctly, because I'm just gonna say it just ended up not crossing correctly to where, but I think it was correct to where he left me the keys. He had to leave early to catch his flight. So he left me the keys, and I already know how Airbnb room works. So I was like, yeah, I put the key back. I make sure the door was locked, yada, yada. I had like I had the room to myself, the Airbnb, for like 3 hours after he left, and I just made sure I had all my stuff, and I left right on time to go catch my bus. But something was like, I don't want to go home. I was like, nothing in me wanted to go home, and I'm just like trying to figure it out so I can tell this man what my plans are before, so he can know what I'm doing. And he had to return the rental car. We were driving in a rental, so he had to make it time to Fort Lauderdale to return the car. And I'm like, let me not be an inconvenient individual and figure this out. And I was like, I'm just gonna go with what I feel. And like, you guys, this is my personal experience. So I was like, something about Tampa was like pulling me. And like, I ended up choosing St. Pete. But I don't know. It was just this surge of energy that went through my entire body. Like, I was like, okay, Jacksonville. I just listened to what I was feeling throughout my whole entire vessel. And I'm like, okay, let me just silence my mind. What am I feeling? I was like, I don't want to go home. No. So, but then when I clicked on like St. Pete, it's just this extreme surge of energy went throughout my entire body. And you guys, should I share this? I don't know, because I'm sorry, I'm just mindful of what I'm saying, because anyway, it is what it is. There was like this whole burst of like pleasurable, blissful energies burst through my entire body when I like clicked on St. Pete. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's where I'm going. Like, I wasn't even trying to put too much thought into it. I'm like, hey, look, the vibe's gonna be like that. And so I went to St. Pete, and I told him where I was going, because like, he was like trying to make sure I was good. He left me a little letter when he left. Like, it was good meeting you. We connected, and I hope you have a safe trip. And so yeah, we went our separate ways. I locked up the Airbnb, and I went to go catch my bus to fucking St. Pete. Oh, the bus. Oh Lord. The times that I had to get there, and there was a 4-hour late. 4 hours, bro. We were sitting there for 4 hours. That's crazy. That was crazy. It was a 4-hour layover, and we was just sitting in that building I was trying to stay awake. And I met some cool people. We connected. I feel like I gave somebody free therapy. I don't know. We connected. I just realized, bro, I don't like taking the bus. Like, I don't have enough money to take that flight, even at the last second. Yeah, and I went to sleep on the floor on my little yoga mat because I couldn't stay awake at 4 a.m. I was tweaking. But yeah, anyways, that was a whole trip, a whole journey, bro. Bus life is a thing. And so yeah, I went to St. Pete's by myself. It was cool staying with this guy. We connected and stuff, but I was getting to that point where, okay, I need my personal space and personal time. And yeah. I was glad to be alone. I love traveling alone. Solo travel is lit. I feel like the lighting just completely shifted. Oh yeah, it's getting darker, duh. But anyways, yeah. So I was in St. Pete alone. Once I got there, how was it when I got there? Okay, so when I got there, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, yeah, I was nervous. I was scared. Okay, that was fear. I was just like, I don't know. The bus dropped me off at like, it wasn't even downtown. I wouldn't consider that. No, that was almost downtown St. Pete. Not quite. It was like right there in front of the Publix, by the Publix and the BurgerFi. Is that what it's called? BurgerFi? Yeah, something like that. And that's where I got off, and I was just standing there. I'm like, bro, I'm in the middle of a city I'd never been in. My brain was coming up with stuff to panic about, but I was like, emotionally, I was calm. I'm like, my brain was like, why are you so calm? And then giving me shit to worry about. Like, I'm like, bro, I was like so calm, and I'm like, I'm so calm. This is too calm. I need to panic. That is literally what was happening. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, I can't stay here. So I was just going with the flow. So when that bus pulled up, I'm like, I just stand here and just like soak up the sun, or I get on the bus. I'm like, the guy was getting on the bus. So I was like, hey, I'm getting on the bus. And I tried to pay, but the card wouldn't work. But the lady was like, they really don't be caring. The lady was like, you can get on the bus. And apparently if you're not from there, you can just get on a ride for free. A few of the bus drivers let me ride for free. But yeah. It's $2.29 to take the city bus. That's a whole extra $1. But anyways, yeah, so I got on the bus. I was so scared. I was tweaking real hard. I literally got on that bus and prayed. I was praying because I'm like, bro, I don't know where this bus is going. And then she was like, it was just drive. I was just along for the ride. And I'm like, wait, does it go to the beaches? And she's like, yeah. And that was the last stop was at the beaches. And I'm like, I was like asking the bus driver, I was so scared. I'm like, is there gonna be people? Is it gonna be? Because I'm looking on Google, looking at pictures of St. Pete beaches, and it was like, not like, it was just like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, just relax. I was torturing myself. But anyways, yeah. And she was like, yeah, it goes to the beaches. I'm like, is there gonna be people there? She's like, I don't want to be secluded. And then she was like, honestly, I didn't have a choice. I was already on the bus. So all I had to do, I could choose to be scared or choose to like have a good time. And so it drove me all the way out to Pinellas County, St. Pete beaches. And it was so beautiful out there. I got off the bus, and you literally get off the bus. There's like hella hotels, of course. Hella hotels, resorts, Chick-fil-A right across the street. There was so many, and Publix right across the street. So I'm like, okay, this is a good spot. I can go to the store if I need to, charge my phone in the store, and then chill at the beach. And that's what I did. I just went to the beach. I had to carry my freaking suitcase all over the sand. Oh my God, experiences. We love it. And that night, I was out there like 2. I charged my phone fully right up into Chick-fil-A closed. And the guy bought me a free drink. He's like, do you need anything? And he brought me a drink. It turned into some weird flirtations. It was just weird. Like, they always gotta ruin it. Damn. But anyways, like, they ruined it. Like, you had good hospitality, then you try to flirt. Like, weird. Anyways, and it's always guys who are old enough to be my dad. Anyways, I was just sitting there, he bought me a free drink. I was just trying to like calm myself down. Pretty sure I had some French fries or something. And I'm just like trying not to text people and like panic and make people that love me panic. But it just, yeah, that's what happened. And up until Chick-fil-A closed, my phone was fully charged. And I'm like, I'm out there like, almost 2 a.m. walking around like I ain't got nowhere to go. Everything's closed. I was getting very much pissed. Very much like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Like, that's how I was feeling. But then I walk and the bus driver was like, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't that late because the buses start running at midnight. So he was like, he's like, the bus driver was like, yeah, we start running at 12. He was like, downtown's not a place you want to be. Not this time. He's like, you're better off staying at the beaches. It's safer and there's police patrolling. Downtown is not really patrolled, I guess, after a certain time. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm standing at the beach. And plus, I'm like, I get to sleep on the beach. I was trying to stay positive. So I'm like, we love it. So I'm still low-key like, I don't know what I'm about to do. He told me I can go use the bathroom inside of the resort because the resort obviously is open 24/7. So I go into the bathroom. They let me use the bathroom in the resort. They're pretty chill. And then I walk out. Once I'm walking out, this guy, I don't even know this guy. He stops me, says, hey, do you have somewhere to go? You got somewhere? He's like, just like, you okay? You're good? You have somewhere to go? And I'm like, honestly, bro, I'm out here and I'm like down. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then he's like, there's actually a place you can sleep. And he was like, well, we don't want her to see the lady at the front desk come. But she was pretty cool. She let me use the bathroom. They were all like pretty just chill. And this is like almost at midnight, I believe, because the buses start running at midnight. So yeah, he was like, come this way. And then he took me around the back and we're talking. He's like, where are you from? And we're just like talking. I'm like telling him where I'm from and we're just like chatting it. And then he takes me to the back and he's like, there's cameras. I can't come with you because I work here. He's like, I can actually lose my job. So he's like, I want her to say something. I think that's what he said. He's like, yeah, because I want her to call the police on me. But yeah, he's like, if you go through there at the back of the resort, there's couches. You know those couches that can like waterproof. He's like, there's couches back there. You can sleep back there on the resort. And like, honestly, them people, they know that I didn't stay at the resort. Like, they don't know. He was like, you can like stay back there and I'll bring you a blanket later. I can't let the camera see me. And then like, so I go back there, I sleep. There's like people back there like when I first get there, but they're like packing it up and then they end up going in and it's just me out there by the ocean. It was so beautiful. And all my stresses went away. I'm like, this guy, a complete stranger, just helped me. I'm like, okay, I can relax now. And I had somewhere to charge my phone. There was outlets. And this man, I was there for like 30 minutes, kind of shivering a little bit. I mean, I had my blanket. I'm just laying there looking up at the stars. Oh, yeah, I didn't mention that I started bleeding. Bruh, the day that I booked my ticket to St. Pete from Miami, I was like, yeah, I'm about to go live it up. My womb was like, time to shower you with rain. Time to shower you. But I don't know. And so I started bleeding. And this is where I'm like, really? Are you serious? I don't have and something told me, bring your stuff. Bring your stuff with you. I feel like at this point I'm being so transparent. Like the period undies, I highly recommend. And like someone was like, bring your pairs with you. You can wash them there, like all that. I left them. It's like, well, I'm about to bleed and I ain't got nothing. And that was before I got on the bus, y'all. And it worked out. And I'm like, all I had was my bikini. So I'm like, bro, bikinis are waterproof. So like you can dunk in the ocean. That's what I fucking did. Was it comfortable? Was it likable? Not necessarily. Like I was washing my underwear in the hotel sink because I didn't have a washing machine. I usually use their soap. I was washing, scrubbing all my underwear. I brought a good amount with me. I brought like 8 pairs. Washing it and then drying it with the blow dryer. I'm like, this is all I can do. But that was fast forward. That was like later. I had a good amount of pair to last me for a while. But when I was bleeding, I was like, I'm so glad that I'm light. And I was just like, well, I'm bleeding. And I just put on my trunks, my swim trunks. I'm like, I'm about to just go dunk in the ocean. So that's what I did. Yeah. And like I was laying down by the ocean and I was trying to get like some shut eye. It was like almost 1 a.m., 2 a.m. But I was laying there for like 30 minutes before this guy brought me a blanket. And he brought me a blanket. And then he came back later with some snackies. He brought me some snacks. He brought me a bag of Doritos, but I'm not about to eat just Doritos and a plum. I was just like not really hungry. And it was perfect. There was a Dollar Tree right across the street. I got me some little healthy snackies from there for super cheap. And Publix was right there. And it all worked out so great. And not gonna say there wasn't stressful moments, because there was for sure. Carrying your luggage over the sand, and it's like slippery. That shit's a pain. But yeah, and I feel like we're talking for a while. It's only been 30 minutes. But yeah, and he brought me snacks, and I just slept by the beach, and I got to watch the sunrise, which was nice. I haven't done that in a while. And I got up, and I was just like, I walked in the ocean. Again, I was still bleeding, so I'm like, let me just... Oh, wait, there was a point, I think it was slowing down about this time. I had to pee. I was like, I can't go in. He's like, yeah, you can't come in. The camera's going to see you and know that you're like, yeah. So I couldn't. So like, I had to pee. I just went and peed. It was dark outside, so nobody could see me. I was just like, peed in the ocean. Yeah. Yeah. And I just was walking up and down. I think I did some prayers in the ocean. And just so I was just like, whatever was coming through, like mantras and all of that. And just reflecting. And when the sun rised, I just folded up the blanket, and I just made sure I was off of that back area when the sun was coming up. And I just went on, I laid on the chairs, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep on the chairs that was on the beach. And then I eventually just went about my next day there. And the next day I caught the bus to go downtown, St. Pete, and I was about to go home. Like, wait, was this when I was about to go home? I think so. I think I was about to go home. No, not yet. I think I stayed, because I was gone for a whole week. So I think that I stayed about 2 days. I think 2 days and 3 nights with that guy before I went to St. Pete. So that was 3 days. I think I was at St. Pete for about 2 or 3 days. Yeah, about 3 days. I was trying to go home. I think at some point, I'm trying to remember every detail. At some point, I was like, yeah, this is ghetto. And that's when I was like, that's when I caught the bus. I went downtown St. Pete. I wasn't really impressed. I was like pretty much where people live. There was some cool restaurants though. Then I got my way all the way back down to the beaches. But where did I sleep that night? Oh yeah, I did stay downtown in the hotel. I did. Whatever money I had, there was this guy trying to, again, the guys try to flirt. The guy that helped me, he was like, you have a boyfriend? Like, bro, they doing good until they do that. You gotta growl. I'm gonna start growling at them. Start barking at people, but nah. I think the second night I ended up staying in, I had enough to stay in a hotel. Honestly, y'all, ended up, let's just say somebody helped me out. I'm gonna say that. And I'm like, dang. And I was like, I ended up like street performing at the St. Pete Pier, which was pretty cool. I met some so amazing people. Met up with some people who I didn't know. I guess we knew each other already. They recognized me. They were vending. That was pretty cool. And I got to see a friend. And that was when I stayed an extra night. I was like, I had them hotels. Why are y'all charging this much? Like, yeah, I don't know. But I stayed in a hotel that one night, and it was like overpriced just for me to sleep for like 5 hours. And it was so much deja vu. It was like I experienced that exact moment before. Yeah. And then I got up. I was just enjoying myself. I had a really fun time at the St. Pete Pier. Like, these people were lit. I was trying to make some sales. I made some cool people. Literally, y'all, I kept trying to go home. I kept trying to go home. But something stopped me from going home. Like, yeah. So I tried to go home the first time, right? And it just didn't work. I don't know what happened. Wait, the very first time I tried going home, I missed the bus. Yeah, the first time I tried to go home, I'm like, okay, I'm about to just go. I ended up missing the bus because the lady was like, I ended up getting off at the wrong spot. And the lady like, there's no Greyhounds over there. I'm like, I don't know her. I can't take her word. I had to go see for myself. The bus ended up leaving me. And I'm like, dang, she was right. And they're like, that one goes downtown. I got on that one. And it does take me downtown. And this was not the Skyrunner. This was the trolley. Yeah, this was the trolley. It took me downtown. He's like, okay, y'all have to get off. We're done for tonight. I'm like, oh, okay. It took me to the St. Pete Pier. And I was out there and I was just trying to relax. I was trying so hard. And I ended up just going. I was dancing a little bit at one of those little clubs. They stay open late. I was dancing at one of them little clubs or whatever. Met some other cool girls. We were just like connecting. And the girl who had to hold the door for me because the lock didn't work, she was like, who's my new friend? I just love when people are so cool like that. It's like, what's my friend's name? And I was like, I'm Charisma. And it was just cool vibes here and there. There's a lot of white people down there, of course, in St. Pete. But it was cool vibes. Expensive, very much so. How I said, it was like ice cream with chocolate sprinkles because I like. But now it was a vibe. And I was trying to go home and I ended up missing the bus. I'm like, bro, I can't get that money back. But something in me was excited. I'm like, I didn't want to go home. And I was like, it just didn't work. Whoops. And I stayed out there and I'm like, bro, I can't sleep out here. So I ended up getting money to stay in a hotel that night. And that's when I only had like 5 hours of sleep. And then the next day I was by the St. Pete Pier again. Once I woke up and I was refreshed. I need a bed. I need a bed to sleep in. I need to shower, like, you know. And I felt rejuvenated. I was going out in the street by the St. Pete Pier. And I sat down for a little while. And I'm about to book my... Look, the first ticket didn't work. I'm trying to go home a second time. I'm trying to book another ticket home. Like, the first one didn't work. It went left so fast, y'all. So I'm trying to book another ticket the next morning. Trying to get home. Because, again, I'm worried about money. Not that I actually want to go home. And I'm literally, once I'm about to click the button to go home, this guy, literally, once my finger is about to push down, this guy pulls up on a bike and said, is that Bob Marley? And it distracts me from clicking the button. I look down. I'm like, no, it's actually not Bob Marley. It's just the Bob Marley color. She was looking at my skirt. Or my scarf that I wrap as a skirt. And then he's like, oh, I have one of those with actual Bob Marley on it. And then we just start talking. He does music festivals. And then we start talking about like living on boats.